to think some of these facts or factoids that exist only in conspiracy theory probably have no basis in fact at all. But I like the theory about them all being descended from extraterrestrials who came here about 4,000 years ago, interbred with some human beings, and have been ruling the rest of us ever since. I like that theory because it has a science fiction eeriness and charm to it.
Now, ancient Babylon appears to have been the center for this network and these bloodlines in the ancient world. When it moved across to Rome, that's when we had the Roman Empire. When it eventually moved across to London, the Great British Empire expanded these bloodlines to the Americas, to Africa, to Australia, through Asia to China. And then when you start to do the genealogy to complete the circle of the people in positions of power today, like the presidents of the United States, for instance, and this is mainstream genealogy, not conspiracy research genealogy, you see the same bloodline coming up over and over and over again, and you realize the obsession the Illuminati have with bloodline, then pieces seem to fit.
This Illuminati, which is sort of, a group of people who are smarter and better and faster and quicker than the rest of us, are pulling the strings. Now, if they've really been around for 2, 3, 4, 5,000 years, you kind of wonder why they haven't managed to, take over the world yet. It's been a long time.
When you put all this information together, the way the same bloodlines turn up in the positions of power, not just now, but way back in history, I've identified with different sources of genealogical research a bloodline that starts in ancient Sumer in Egypt and comes up to George W. Bush and the Bush family and many other people in the world today, Al Gore as well. And the people in it are some of the great names and changes of the world throughout human history of the last 5,000 years. It's unbelievable.
Conspirologists see Illuminati symbols everywhere. It seems the Illuminati have been using the same symbols for thousands of years, and yet many of us are totally unaware of their existence.
If you take a look at the backside of the dollar bill, it'll say Novus Ordo Seclorum, the new social order, and they have the pyramid. And that has nothing, not a damn thing to do with the United States of America. I was going to take a look at, a bill. And you can take a look on the backside of the bill and it'll say, here. You can hardly see it. But it's Novus Ordo Seclorum, the New World Order. It's what Hitler envisioned. It's on the backside of the United States dollar bill. The eye of the pyramid, also called the eye of Horus, is the eye of Lucifer. This is what we are facing.
Well, as for the seal on the dollar bill, I've always found that one of the more absurd parts of conspiracy theory. If there was a conspiracy, why would they be advertising themselves out in public like that? A lot of conspiracy theorists seem to think conspirators go around doing two things: A, conspiring, and B, leaving clues behind so you can detect their conspiracies. That sounds rather ridiculous to me.
Just to give you an idea of how black is white and topsy is turvy in relation to our perception of what's going on compared with what is, in New York Harbor is a lady holding a lighted torch, a Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty, land of the free. That's what most Americans, 99.9% of them, believe that stands for. In fact, that was given to New York Harbor by French Freemasons who knew that it was an Illuminati symbolism of, we control the show, we're telling you, but because you don't know the secret language and we've given you another version of it, freedom, you don't know what's going on.
But a lot of that might have had to do with the fact that a lot of people in our government have belonged to the Masonic movement, including the founders of this country. George Washington was a Mason. There's a famous picture of him wearing his Masonic apron, and a lot of the signers of the Declaration of Independence were Masons. And I think 16 presidents